Welcome traders, welcome to the third daily live session. Today is Thursday. We started our first session on Tuesday, uh, Monday, and we have had quite some movements this morning with the ECB. We'll go through that just in a bit. I just want to show you guys the results for some other things. Today we had the ECB monetary policy statement. I talked about that a bit in our chat. So basically, to keep it short, they're going to keep the rates as low as possible, but also decrease the rates for the TLTRO3 loans, which are loans they give to banks, and these banks give loans out to companies, to businesses, and they're doing this to keep credit and cash flow in the economy, in the European economy. And so this is why we saw a little bit of a bull run on the Euro USD, but we hit our trend line, our daily trend line, and we kind of bounced back off that. So I'll go over that, and we also had the CAD trade balance, which came out better than expected at a negative 1.0 billion, so that's good. We didn't see much strength on the USD CAD, although it was in a downtrend to begin with. Let's take a peek at that. I don't really, so it's just bouncing off support and came down a bit in a little channel. This could actually be a good setup for an intraday type of deal. Be advised that tomorrow is NFP, so I actually might not trade anything today, especially anything that has the USD involved. So none of the golds, the euros, and much of that is consolidating. You know, a lot of people got stuck in buys because euro shot up to 1300, but now it's back to around 12600. So we'll go right into it. So I did the poll. I know the poll was a little late. I was having issues with the Telegram, but it was the same pairs from yesterday. People want to see the euro, the pound yen, and gold. So let's get into it. And be sure to follow us on TradingView at Forex Lens if you want to keep up with my analysis. So the Euro USD, damn, I'm on the 1 minute chart. I was actually testing out something, but here we are. We actually hit the key level I was talking about, our first take profit from yesterday, right around the 1.12100 area. We actually pierced through that level, and that was around at 8:30. So we hit take profit there. It was about how many pips did we get? It was about a 30 pip trade. That's where I usually strive for. We actually did go as far as 45 pips, but I think most people had their take profits here. I did say we should move our stops to entry at 30 pips, and thank God we did, because we had a little reaction after the ECB decisions were made public. But we can obviously see right here, this daily trend line is still significant. A lot of people are stuck in binds. Like, we're still respecting this daily trend line, and the only way I'll go along is if we actually close above this. Then we can obviously go ahead and test 1.1400. So that would be the next key level for Euro USD. However, if we close like this and the NFP shows some promising results as compared to the ADP, then we can actually see Euro fall down. Right now we're floating at 1.12528. So right where we were yesterday when we were analyzing the pair during the live session. So a lot of consolidation. We're actually creating a range from here to here. Let me remove this short position because we don't need it. But we are in this range. Let me just box it out. This mini consolidation range. So any break either side will decide the sentiment for this pair. I do think we might actually go long on euro, but not yet. You can see that we kind of made a pullback from the initial drop. We have a little hammer going on. So, there's a lot of buyers in the market, and one way I love to check how many buyers there are is actually go to Daily FX and see the sentiment. So you go to the website right here, and you can look at the client sentiment, and we see right here that 56% of users are actually short on the euro, 44% are long, and Daily FX usually takes a contrary view. So since most people are short, they see euro actually going long, and that's why even though it's near 50-50, the signal is mixed. But if we look at something like the pound USD, where 77% of the people are long and only of 23% are short, the signal is bearish. So they always take a contrarian view, and it makes sense, obviously, with the stop points and banks trying to get the best price possible to sell off or buy off on these pairs. So right now, that's where we're in this little box. I wouldn't trade any USD pair, let alone Euro USD, just because tomorrow's NFP, and that's within less than 24 hours actually. There are other good pairs out there like pound yen. So Euro USD, we hit 35 pips in profit, which is alright. Now we're back where we kind of started. This Friday will probably dictate where we go, but this daily descending channel is staying put for now. Obviously lackluster NFP will drive this up, and we could have a nice long to 1.1400 area. So that's Euro USD. Like I said, from by now we should all have our key levels plotted. So if you want to do that little box out region, you can on your chart. I'll go back to it. It's just capturing these two highs right here and this wick right here. That's what your box should capture. So that's Euro USD. My bias is mixed until NFP. NFP will know whether it's short or long. Either way, both trades will have a great risk to reward ratio. And then next week we could go long or short. So that's Euro USD. Let's go to pound. Pound actually played out as a short like I said it would. So yep. So remember if you look back to yesterday's video, I drew this ascending channel. Ascending channel right here, and I said that if we break this channel and we did a retest, we could get a nice short opportunity, and we got about 35 pips also on this play. Which is pretty decent for an intraday setup. And now we're coming back to this key level again. You see what I mean? That's why I love drawing my lines when areas of most activity, because they're not on your chart just to make it colorful. They have significance to them. I mean, we've tapped this line before, we tapped it before again, and then as early as last night we tapped it once more. So after we tapped it, we're kind of trying to go back. We're kind of making another attempt at it. And I do see the pound actually being a long from here on out, despite the whole Brexit and Theresa May deal. I do believe that we can see the pound be a long-term long opportunity, just on the basis that we failed to close below this previous low right here from this ascending channel. You can see in theory we actually made a higher high here, a higher low here, and another higher high here. So we are technically in an uptrend, although it's not the prettiest. Let me actually remove this. It's not the prettiest uptrend, but we did end up making another high. Now all it takes is for the NFP to really decide if we're gonna go short or bounce above this and go long. And you know what I said about the pound is that it moves aggressively. So giving a lackluster NFP, we could actually just pop back up without even retesting this green line right here. And once again, we are breaking a serious downtrend. So a long opportunity is definitely possible. Just 1 second. So I got a question about longing EU, because what if the rate cuts are already priced in? And yeah, that was one of the topics that I wanted to discuss. Many do believe the rate cuts have been priced in since since the start of February, because in January they reduced their overall growth for the GDP from 1.7% to 1.1. This is me talking about the euro. And then when we talk about the Federal Reserve, they're already planning on making 2 rate cuts by the end of 2019. So in hindsight, it does look like the USD will weaken. The dollar index will take a visit to that, and the euro will also be mixed, just because the GDP projection went from 1.7 to 1.1%. However, it depends on what happens in October. As we know, Draghi is stepping down. So whoever takes his role can also influence what happens in quarter 3 and quarter 4. But just too long off euro based off the ECB decision today would be premature, because like the question I just got, it may as well be priced in. A lot of people felt that euro will keep the rates down low. Draghi says we're not hitting a recession, but many people in the government, the European Union, do believe that Draghi and his team could have handled it better, and that the euro is on the brink of having either a major shortfall against the USD. So if we go back to the monthly time frame, we can actually see that the euro was on a significant downtrend, and it has yet to visit the lows in the 1.100 area. It won't show on this part of the graph. And it doesn't go back that far. But euro has yet to test the 1.100 lows since 2015. So it has time to test those lows, and given the current downtrend it's on, it is possible, especially if it breaks the counter trend line it is on. So let me actually go in and show that was actually the pound. So right here, Oanda still cuts it off, but these lows right here is where euro can be seen if Draghi steps down and someone comes in position who decides to lower the value of euro in order to improve their economy. I wrote an article about this, where countries who are major exporters and importers don't really like their currency being too strong, and you can think about the yens, the Swiss, and the USD. They have policies to make sure their currency doesn't get too strong, because if currency gets too strong, then people that are exporting goods to your country are going to have to pay higher prices, and they don't want to do that, and obviously that's bad for trade. I got one more question. Let me look at it. Yeah, and also obviously the tariffs on Mexico. That's another situation. We actually get a few goods from Mexico. Also a lot of gas from Mexico. So that is also an issue. Obviously right now there's a lot of trade tensions with the U.S., not just with China, with also Mexico. And there's also implications with Canada. Canada's trying to make, Justin Trudeau's trying to make a pipeline to create a fuel source just for Canadians through the NAFTA agreement. And the U.S. has been against Canada the whole way, and they're actually trying to put tariffs on Canadian exports. So on all fronts, the USD is battling nations in terms of their economy, and so to see euro possibly go long and to see the USD slip against all pairs can be seen in the foreseeable future. But I don't swing trade years or months. I usually if I'm swing trading, it's days to weeks. But that could be something to be looked at. Obviously, we know when these news releases come out, we see a lot of volatility and the markets react. So to say the tariffs are priced in, I'm not too sure about that until something concrete comes out from the Trump administration. But that's that. I believe we covered the pound. The pound is the same bias as yesterday. We're still in that range. It just depends on if we break it or not. Like I said, we're still respecting that weekly trend line right here, holding on for dear life, but we have a bullish closure, a bullish candle right now on that trend line, and like I said, we broke that downtrend, and it does look like we're keeping true to the support, and more upside is coming. So I actually would long this next week. Like I said, NFP's tomorrow. Don't want to get into anything. So that's pound. So pound bias is overall long. The only thing will make it a short is if the NFP blows us away. And that's that. The next pair was gold. So here's gold. So yeah. So I remember yesterday I had said that we should wait till right here to short gold around 1360 area, just because it hasn't tapped this resistance or really tested it like it has in the past. If we go to the weekly, we've actually gone into this zone. You see how to the left we've actually gone into this zone a few times. We have yet to do that here. We've came close here, but I wouldn't take a short just because we're meeting this little area and creating a double top. Ideally, I want us to pierce into the zone and then show rejection down. And from a risk to reward perspective, that would make sense. If you were long starting here, I believe you'd be at entry right now. Yesterday we were right here, and I said for the aggressive folks, if you want to go short, we can go for a few pips, and it went down 40 pips. But now because the Euro USD is making gains, and the Aussie USD is making gains, and now we have the USD yen making gains. So we have the gold showing some bullish life. So that's why it was key to wait till right here till we short. You can put this sell stop on your chart right now if you wanted to. Just right around 1363 would be good, and stops right above our resistance zone right here. Yep. So get that down. If you haven't applied these levels yet, watch the video, the live session from yesterday. We plotted these key levels, which I'll be referring to from day in and day out. So yeah, gold looks like a short. Obviously, right now it looks like a short-term long to right around here to pierce this zone. But from a risk to reward situation, it's not worth it, and I'll tell you why. I'll remove it. I hope you guys know 1363. Let's say you wanted to go long and you can't sit on your fingers. You need to trade. Let's just look at this risk to reward ratio right here. Okay. So right around here is good. Now what I use as my stop losses is our recent highs or lows, and so we're on the daily. Let's go down to the 4 hour. Okay, so our recent higher low was right around here, where this wick is. So let me put that array. Okay, that's where our recent higher low is, right? Higher low. And where was our recent break of resistance that was significant? This blue line right here, right? As you can see, this line right here, where it was resistance and support. So this was the last zone of significance we broke. Okay, so our stops will be a bit past here. Remember, I said it's a zone, so give it some leeway. And our take profit would be 1263. So right here. So in terms of a long perspective, this is a terrible risk to reward trade. Terrible. Like I said, my criteria is at least 1.3. This is half. So I would not take it long. I just wait. I keep my sell stops right here at 1363 and take the shorts from there. Because because who knows if tomorrow's NFP is lackluster, actually amazing, we can actually come back, retest this this level of significance, and then go up to this long level right here. So be wary, be patient. I rather have money in my account than lose it just because I was greedy. It hurts more to lose 500 than gain 500. So be patient. So gold, the overall bias is short, given that we go to 1363. Till then, it's a gamble to go long, and it's not worth it. So we did euro, we did pound, we did gold. Let us do pound yen, which is looking amazing. I might actually enter it right now. Damn, trading view is acting weird. But same story. We had this little downtrend for the pound yen, and we had a mini uptrend once we broke out of this. If we go to the 1 hourly, we can see what's really happening. So we're also in a consolidation box from 1.37765 to 1.3700 area. So we're in this consolidation box. This was our mini uptrend we created. We came out and we retested it, and we had a rejection. So this would actually been a good short opportunity. I actually like doing these setups where you have your counter trend line and you break it, you come out and you retest it. This is and the same area where you retest, it's a previous resistance. It's actually a pretty good risk to reward trade to short, but I believe the entry is gone now. It's too late to enter, and now we're seeing some upside momentum. So I think by end of day today, by Japan session, by Tokyo session, we could see the pound yen retest this level, 1.37750. I called that long earlier, I believe Tuesday, and that hit take profit, and I believe we're going to go visit that again. But the perfect thing about this setup, and why I think it's great to watch out for, plot these levels if you haven't, is if we do go long, I mean, the risk to reward will be phenomenal because we know our trading range great. We know that if we break above here, and the way that pounds move, we get a nice bullish candle all the way up here with no wick. I don't want to see any candle that looks like, let me show you what a fake out candle would be. A fake out bullish, yeah. So I don't want to see a bullish candle like this. This is a fake out bullish candle where you have wicks on both sides, and just because of the size, you're gonna enter. I don't want to see that kind of bullish candle. The kind of candle I want to see would be something like this. Right here. So a bullish candle with very little wicks at all. Okay, this could even be considered a bullish engulfing because it's bigger than the past 5 candles. There's 2 ways of engulfing: if it engulfs the previous candle, or another way if it's bigger than the past 5 candles. So we had a little bull run, but that's what I want to see at this region right here. If we break out of it, because our first take profit would be 138,487. That's 70 pips away, and just looking at this risk to reward ratio, we can see why this would be a good trade. So we know I trade ranges, and I believe we should start doing too. So I believe if we pop up here, right, and our buy stop gets activated, our stop loss should be right here. The reason being is if we come down here and we get a close within this trading range, then we're probably going short. 2 reasons. This is a key level of significance, right? So if we get a close below here, the price is gonna be magnetized to fulfill this trading range. Another reason is that if we close below this line, we're actually shifting into a downtrend. So we have a trend change, and we have the pair's obligation to fill out the trading range. So that's what if we have our buy stops right around 137.900, and we have our take profit here, and we squeeze our stop loss right below this trading range, we have about a 2.18 risk to reward ratio to go long. So the level you want to put your buy stops at is 137.900 region. I'll actually probably put the same buy stop as well. Anytime I put stop loss and a take profit, I will be entering the trade, or if it's a buy limit or buy order, I will be setting the same order. Just to keep it honest and sincere, because this is the first time I'm looking at the charts today, so I'm seeing what you guys are seeing for the first time, and I believe this is a good trade to enter, given that we get here. So don't enter now. Right now we are looking a bit indecisive. We had a wick to the top. Now we're kind of looking shortish. It all depends on the next close, but that's yen. So for yen, I have it a long-term long, unless we we close bearish and we fill up this trading range, then all bets are off. So that's euro done, that's pound done, that's gold done, that's pound yen done. The biases are the same. I really wish I could give you more setups instead of buy orders and buy limits. But tomorrow's NFP, it's already Thursday, so the trading week is pretty much done. Just to be safe, you don't want to rush into anything that you're going to regret. Next week will be great. The fundamentals aren't as much, so we'll be able to trade without worrying too much about getting our stops blown off or anything funny happening. So that is today's session. I believe I'll end it there. If you are new and this is your first session, go ahead and watch our session from yesterday so you can plot the key levels we did for these pairs. We won't be covering only these pairs. Once we get our live chat running, you can send questions and pair requests as we do the live in real time. But until then, we're gonna have this will suffice. If you have any suggestions for pairs or just any suggestions for the live itself, you can email them in at support@forexlens.com, and you can put RP Forex in the suggestion in the subject line or suggestions for the daily live session, so we know that it's pertaining to this, and we'll get back to you. And we'll try to accommodate everyone's needs, but obviously we try to accommodate to the majority. So that's today's session. This will be up on YouTube within 24 hours. It's hit or miss. Sometimes YouTube does it within the next hour, other times in the next 5 hours. But it will be up, so you can pause it and watch it at your own discretion. So that'd be great. Subscribe to us and turn on our notifications, so next time I go live, you get the link sent to you and you can enter right away. So we will run it back tomorrow at 11. Let's just peep tomorrow's fundamentals. So major CAD unemployment and USD unemployment, that's all we have, I believe, for Friday. Yeah. So tomorrow morning, I say by tonight at midnight, you should probably get out of your trades if you are going to trade the USD. Just because in the midnight, even hours prior to the releases, things get funny. So that's that. I highly recommend Daily FX to read about more fundamentals. They have great articles, and also just to see the sentiment, to see where you align with the majority of traders. And I also recommend our own website. We have a blog running, so at forexlens.com we have blogs published by me, just talking about anything trading related, so give that a see. And I think that's it. I'm tired of rambling, so I'm sorry about that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this session. Any suggestions, email them in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11. Take care. Bye.